What's good, everybody? My name is Brandon McCollum, also known as BMXC, and this is Nice Minds. I'm with a very, like I say every time, but I always fucking mean it, very special guest, my homie Landscapes. What's good, homie?
Yo, what is good, BMCC? Thank you so much for having me on Nice Minds.
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I've known you for a minute, so we probably go back like 5 or 6 years at this point.
Approximately, yeah, because I will have lived in Minneapolis for 6 years this coming March.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, we both were students at IPR together, and I remember the first time you're a really talented, gifted MC, and I remember the first time I saw you live. Was that your first show, the Rhyme Sayers Showcase?
Yeah, the one at 7th Street Entry
Yeah,
where it opened for J Plaza. Yeah, it was J Plaza, and then we had like our group called like Creeps and Geeks. That was like our group name for like the class that we were in. But yeah, that was my first like official show in Minneapolis. Yeah.
that's crazy. I remember seeing you, and I was just like, "Holy shit, they are fucking dope!" Like, just fire. I was like, "This landscapes just has skills." So, when did you start making music? I know you're originally from Akron, Ohio, right?
For Akron.
Akron, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm from Akron. I started singing in general. I started doing music when I was like 3 or 4. Like I specifically remember going on road trips to Tennessee with my mom, and she introduced me to Leanne Rhymes, and like that's the first person who like I remember like ever like singing to their music and like learning what they do. So I was listening to a lot of Leanne Rhymes. I was a theater kid through and through. I was in like musicals when I was in middle school and high school. I was in Willy Wonka Jr., Seussical Jr. I was even in a production of Anne Frank, Diary of Anne Frank, not a musical version, which that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just always kind of been around music and involved in music. I started writing my own music probably when I was 12 or 13, so probably like middle school era. I did a lot of acoustic stuff originally. I was listening to a lot of Fall Out Boy and Mayday Parade and just kind of like writing stuff in that kind of vibe. And then I started getting into hip hop. My friend Mitch, actually, he introduced me to Greaves when we were probably in like sophomore year of high school. And so I was listening to him a lot. And Greaves is actually who got me into doing like hip hop and rapping. And so that was probably 2011 or 12, I'd say. So almost 10 years now I've been doing rap.
So it's actually like getting into rhyme sayers and stuff that kind of brought you up to Minnesota, right? I mean, you found out about IPR when you were like researching schools and stuff and like rhyme sayers, or
I was going to college at Kent State and I hated it. And like I never wanted to go there in the first place type stuff. And I was like sitting in my room one day and I was like, okay, like what do I want to do? Where do I want to be? Like where am I trying to be at? And I think I like Google searched like media colleges and came across IPR, and I saw that they had a music business program, and then I also saw that they had a rhyme sayer scholarship. And I was already familiar with rhyme sayers because like I got into Greaves and then got into Prof, and I was just like, okay, well, like these are people that I've at least heard of, these are people I know, like it just made sense. And so I was like, okay, like it just seems to be a calling. And so I applied for the school, I applied for the scholarship. somehow managed to get into the school and get the scholarship, and I was like, "Okay, like, this is real now," like, I just, moved here and did the dang thing. I was just like I moved here with I moved to Minnesota with, $2,000 in my pocket, and I was crashing on a friend's couch because, like, I couldn't legally get, my name on a lease. I was on probation at the time. I was going through some legal shit back in my hometown, and I was relying off of the goodwill of others, and I was fortunate enough to not have those people take advantage of me, and I was given really good opportunities with really good people, and I'm so lucky for that. Like, I got I got really big ups to the people who just, like, supported me along the way because I could not have done it without, like, a select, like, group of people, you know what I mean?
I feel like you hit the ground running once you got into IPR and, started doing live shows and stuff, and you were part of Nice Entertainment for a little while, and I've always kinda wanted to apologize because I feel like that was, like, the end of it running me running it as a label, and, like, I let my mental health kinda, like, get in the way of a lot of decisions that were made during that time, so I just wanna take this time to personally, like, apologize to you for that, like, year that you were involved with NGE and stuff because I I just wish that I would have made better decisions and kind of just, like, put you more at the forefront because I always really fucked with you and really believed in you. It was just a bunch of shit, and so, like, I'm sorry about that.
Hey, no, it's okay. You have nothing to be sorry for. Like, I 100% appreciate your apology, and I also 100% understand, like, where you're coming from. Like, I think mental health affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to speak for you or put words in your mouth, but I feel like you and I are the same on the level where, like, we both really want to represent the people, and when we feel as though we've missed an opportunity to do that, we feel like a little bit of extra, like, personal guilt, even though we might just be trying to take care of ourselves, or, like, we have other shit to attend to. Like, I feel like you and I always want to represent the people and want to be there for each other. And then when we can't be there due to personal reasons, it just hits us extra hard.
Yep.
So I totally feel where you're coming from, like, on that level.
I just did not know how to be a leader, and, like, I would say, like, I lost a lot of, like, steam running NGE during, like, 2016, end of 2017, and, like, I just let my mental health get in the way, and I just didn't know how to properly lead, and I really realized over the last couple years as, like, I've made NGE my personal brand, um, just kind of how much I did let my mental health kind of, like, run the show, and um, it doesn't make it right, and, but I'll always support you, and that's why I wanted to invite you on today, just because, yeah, like I said, like, you are somebody that I have always been a huge fan of, and I think that you have the most potential out of, like I mean, I literally, like, I'm not even fucking with you, I put you in, like, the top 10 of people that I know, like, I'm not even just gassing you up because because 'cause you're that dope to me.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for, just being that homie and just being dope all these years. It really means a lot. Um, so, I mean, overall, like, how has 2020 and 2021 been for you?
It's been a little wild.
Yeah.
I feel like I gave a lot of love and received a lot of love during 2020, 2021. but also a little bit of not so much love
Right.
in that time. Um, Definitely kinda learn some people's true colors, but also learn some true colors about myself.
Yep.
And, trying to process a lot, trying to hold myself accountable,
Same.
trying to come to terms with things, trying to come to terms with the fact that I might not necessarily be able to hold other people accountable for some things,
Yep.
at least not to their face, you know.
Right.
But yeah, just trying to unpack a lot
Yeah.
and forgive other people, forgive myself, just trying to navigate the the tragedy that has been the last 2 years. Trying to even put a grasp on how much of a tragedy the last 2 years have been.
Absolutely. Cause I mean, you've always been really in the live show world. I mean, you were working at, like, a few venues, right?
Yeah, I got my start at First Ave, and now I'm at the Armory, and, like, I love it.
That's
It
dope.
it's just it's been such a wild transition.
I haven't been to a show since, like, I mean, in 2 years. So how has the live show world been since everything's been back?
It's been one of those kind of, like, the more things change, the more they stay the same type of
Yeah.
things. Um, you're I feel as though working from, like, a front of house perspective, like, dealing with, like, customers, um, kind of a lot of the same. Um, you're dealing with some entitlement,
Mhm.
some, "Why do I have to wait in line?" type of thing, or just, like, everyone has to wait in line, or, like, w we've had a break from all of this for almost 2 years, like 18 months,
Yeah.
and people coming back to shows or people who have never been to a show, like, all of a sudden, like, nobody knows how to act, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, from a performer aspect, but also from working, like, on the venue side, it's weird.
Have you done any shows as a performer since we've been back?
I have not. I have gone to a couple shows, but I haven't. I was gonna do, um DJ Nanobite was putting together a show, but that ended up getting postponed a little bit. So we haven't we don't have an official uh show date for that yet, but that's the only show that I'm committed to right as of right now. Otherwise I'm just observing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm observing from afar because yeah, I just haven't. I mean, after losing my mom to coronavirus and everything, like, I'm just still, like, kind of weirded out with everything, and, like, uh, not knowing really where I fit in that space anymore. And even though I'm vaccinated, and I don't know when I'm gonna be comfortable. So I'm trying to, like, kind of put my feelers out and see, like, how it's been, and, like, if people are, if it's different, if it's the same, if it's, any better. Yeah, so I just think it's really interesting.
Different venues are doing different things. I know some places, and I know some of it is also dependent on, like, what the artist wants. So I know, like, the venue I work at, they are following, like, all of the state and federal mandates as far as COVID goes, and then anything beyond that is up to the tour. So I know some tours are requiring proof of vaccination and or um, proof of negative COVID test within 72 hours of the event. I know that there are some tours who are only requiring like proof of vaccination, like you have to be vaccinated in order to go to the show. Um, and like I think that's like a good thing. Like
Yeah.
I think that, like if you like just my personal opinion, like if you want to go to a show or like go do anything in public in today's climate, you should be vaccinated for any and everything.
It's so hard in that regard. I mean, it's so hard to get like all, everybody's differing opinions, and I don't have the energy for it. You know, I don't have the energy to freaking argue with people about it. But I'm in full agreement on that. So have you been working on any music? Are you the album getting any closer? What's been going on?
Ah, yes. So I'm waiting to hear back from my producer about, like final edits and stuff for the album. I'm hoping, I was hoping to have the album out by the end of November, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. Um, deadlines aren't as important,
Right.
at least for this one. Like after this one, like we're buckling down, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, hopefully I will have this album out by the end of the year or the start of the new year.
Dope. Because you've been working on this one for a minute. What's the title again?
For so long. It's called New
That's
Foundations.
right.
I was hoping to have it out like by last fall, like of like 2020. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Time is just weird. Yeah.
right. It was a whole thing, and then everything was happening for a lot of people, and I get it. It's a whole blah 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 blah. um, but yeah, it was one of those things where it's like I wanted it to be good and not just done.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, okay, well, it's probably good. Can we get it done, please?
Are you working with one producer on this, or are you working with multiple people?
Technically working with three producers on it. So yeah. So two people. So Derek Owens,
Oh, word. Dope.
yeah, Beats by Brick sold me one of his beats, and then Chucky Ellis
Yeah, Chucky. Yep.
sold me one of his, and then DJ Ryan Hayes is doing the rest of
Oh,
them.
sick. The homies. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So then like he's just been like working with Nerdy
Yep.
and doing like Fair Play and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's dope to see the homies and what they've accomplished over the last like couple years. It's
Yeah.
insane. I didn't even realize that I connected Ryan and Matt. Like I had no idea.
Oh yeah?
Matt was playing one of my shows and I think Ryan was DJing or something. Or maybe it was at somebody else's show or something, but I was standing with Ryan like watching Nerdy and I was like, "Yo, you got to meet this dude. Like he's freaking dope." And Ryan's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I might have like I don't remember if I like actually like introduced them, but I know that I was the one that like put it in Ryan's ear to like talk to him or whatever. So it's crazy. Like those dudes, like, just they just keep leveling up, like, by the day, it seems like.
They're doing really cool stuff. I'm super proud of them.
Fuck yeah. So I know that your ultimate, goal is to open a venue.
Yeah.
how's that been going? Like, have you been, like, in the process of, like, planning it still, or like, does COVID change that goal?
It has slightly altered the goal.
Word.
I kinda wanna downscale it just a little bit. Initially, I kinda wanted to do something, like, probably, like, half the size of First Avenue's main room, and now I kinda wanna do something more, like, closer to maybe, like, 7th Street's,
Word.
it's, like, size room. Um, I think that instead of doing, like a venue, I kinda wanna do more of a like a lounge style,
Dope, that's cool.
like more of a chill spot, like, more like Honey.
I miss Honey. I didn't even notice your shirt, that's dope. That's fire, hell yeah.
Honey was the
The
shit.
shit. I mean, like, everybody that worked there was just the best. I mean, John, the owner, always treated us with so much respect and so much love. I mean, we were pretty much able to get shows there whenever. I mean, he had the people that he liked that he would just allow to just book shows pretty much whenever it was available, and we just had the best times there. I mean, it was always lit there. Even when it was like even when there was nobody there, it was always lit, you know?
Right, like, we always had each other.
Yep.
Like, Honey was always the spot.
Yeah. I'm really surprised that, like, people didn't put together, like, a GoFundMe or something for Honey, like, to keep it open or, like, open it back up. I mean, I don't even know the full story, maybe there's more to the story that I don't even know, but, like, I'm just like, "Fuck, that was not" like, if any venue, I'm like, "Why did it have to be Honey?" You know?
Right.
We're in definite need of something similar in that aspect, like a loungy, like, chill, low key spot where artists can come and perform. So when I mean, I guess I don't you probably don't want to air out too many of your ideas until it's official, so I guess we can keep it on the hush hush because I don't want to give away all your sauce and all your plans yet. I know that you and I both personally have had a lot of setbacks and like struggles in our career. What advice would you give to like a younger you or like a younger artist trying to get into the game? Like what would be like a few different pieces of advice that you would give like your younger self?
The first thing that comes to mind is always plan for the worst.
Yep.
Always plan for the worst. Um, and that's not to say, don't appreciate what you have right now while you have it, even if you don't have a lot. Um, it's just life is so unexpected.
Yep.
And I thought that like 5 years ago, like 5, 6 years ago when I moved here, I was like, life is so unexpected. Like I'm 21 going on 22, like life is crazy, like anything can happen at any moment, you know, change and like blah. And fast forward through, I graduated college, which I never thought I would do. Went through a global pandemic, which I could have never even imagined I would do. Sitting here going on 28 years old, like, getting ready to move out of my studio apartment.
Yep.
And I'm just like, things things change in such unexpected ways at such unexpected times. Like, you can hope for the best and plan for the worst, and even still just be so unprepared, just so wildly unprepared for what comes next.
Yep. Facts.
Like, I come from a family of ain't got shit. So I'm trying to protect my money like I ain't got none because I never had none. And
Yeah.
then, pandemic hits and you're just like, "Oh, what?" The realization of just like, "Oh, money's been fake this entire time? Like, I've been panicking this whole time," and it's just it's so wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, expect the unexpected, I think is great advice. I mean, it really is. It's something I wish I would have known. I mean, I started this music thing like 20 years ago at this point, and I thought, 20 years I'm gonna be fucking in Cali rolling a Bentley and like, having a label and all this shit. And you don't think about all the hardships and the setbacks and the, things not going exactly how you expected them. And, like all the personal fucking struggles you're gonna have to deal with along the way. Um, yeah, I mean that's real.
Because I know, especially, like, when I was younger and I was, like, super into photography and I was following, like, Alt Press magazine, blah, 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 like, back in Ohio, and I would see these artists and I would be like, "Oh, yeah, like, they worked hard and got to this spot, like, I can do that too." But then you don't really see the back end of that struggle until you're there.
Yep.
And once you get there, you're just like, "Ah, I kinda wish someone would have been there to, tell me about this side of it."
Life definitely has some unexpected twists and turns that you just don't anticipate. What else? Anything any other words of advice?
It might sound cliche, but always stay true to yourself. Like, never let anyone try to tell you what to write or what to sing or, like, what to wear or who to be. Like, always have control of your own image, always have control over your own creative process. Get a good lawyer.
Yep.
Like, if you're really trying to be like, serious, or if you're trying to be, like, mainstream famous in this industry as a performer, as a producer, as, whoever, whatever, like, if you're serious, like, know how to read a contract.
Yeah. True.
Always know how to read a
Facts.
contract,
Yep.
know what your contract is saying, and always have fun.
Yep.
Like like, don't get like, always be conscious of the legal shit because you don't wanna get messed over, but, like, don't lose sight of the vision.
Yeah.
Only lose yourself when you're listening to the Eminem song.
Hell yeah. Facts. Facts. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's good advice. I mean, because oftentimes we like when we're on this journey, we forget why we even got into it in the first place. We forget that this is our passion, this is fun, this is like, this is what we breathe for, this is what we live for. Music is what we do and creativity is what we do. And I know along the way when I was running Next Entertainment, like I forgot about that and lost sight of that so many times. Like I forgot about the vision. I forgot about, just why I was doing things. And I think one of my biggest things for people is just always remember your why. Like why are you doing this? Like, you know, are you doing it for selfish reasons or are you doing it to help other people? Are you doing it to express yourself? Like, just always remember your why and keep that at the forefront.
I actually had that written on a whiteboard until my whiteboard broke. But I had it, like, hanging up, like, kind of, like, next to my bed, and it said, like, "What is your why?" And I kinda, like, whenever I thought of, like, a motive or an inspiration, I would always write it down, like, whether it's a person or whether, it's just, like, the earth, like, "Oh, like, I wanna keep society going," or, like, that I would just, like, write down that reason and just try to give myself more motivation as to, like, what is your actual why? Like, why do you want to own this venue? Like, why do you want to make your own music? Like what are you going to do with that?
That's dope. I actually have a whiteboard right over there. I think I'm gonna grab that and actually do that because that's pretty brilliant. Because I think that I need to remind myself of that like daily, like why I'm doing this and like why I need to continue doing it. And I've never really been like I'm gonna quit, but I've definitely changed direction so many times just because I haven't had that why at my forefront, you know? I think that's what's got me off course so many times.
It's definitely helpful, especially when you're trying to think about it for, like, non-selfish reasons, because it's super easy to think about yourself.
Yep,
But when you're trying to think about, like, "Okay, well, how can I do what I wanna do, but also contribute to society?" Like, how can I help people while being selfish, so to speak?
yep.
And I feel like that's kind of like a good motivator.
Yeah, that's exactly why I started this because I knew that I was kind of stopping the record label thing, but I still wanted to help shine the light on creatives and you know, give people a voice and get people's stories out there.
And I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you for giving me your time tonight. I really really appreciate it. So, yeah, I guess we covered, like, everything that I wanted to cover, in a short amount of time span. Do you have any last words for the people?
I would honestly just say, like, keep it real with yourself, keep it real with others, be kind, like, everybody is going through some shit, just try to be respectful, try to be nice.
Exactly.
Um, and yeah, just, like, live your best life. Like, be be, uh be selfishly selfless.
I like that. Selfishly selfless. I love that. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. I keep doing your thing. Keep working on this album. I can't wait to hear it and let me know if you need any help from me in any way promoting or, just whatever. My inbox is always open. You have my number. Hit me up anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit you up because I need your expertise on some things.
Dope. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.